Good morning, Year 4. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Welcome to week 3 and your first maths lesson. Now, before we start our learning today, I just wanted to let you know about something really important. This week, there is a TT Rockstar battle going on with all 3 classes going up against each other. So what you need to do is make sure you go on to TT Rockstars at some point this week and play some games. Maybe you could do 10 minutes a day. That would be great. The battle starts today on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it will carry on all the way through to Friday this week at 4 p.m. I will send a ping out to parents at the end of the week to let you know who won. Good luck. The first thing I'd like you to do today is have a look at these 4 things on the screen. What can you tell me about them? Pause the video and have a look. Did you spot anything? That's right, they all equal the same amount. Basically, all 4 of these things mean exactly the same thing, and the answer to all of them is 16. They're all just different ways of saying 2 lots of 8. Today's lesson is about doubling numbers, which I know some of you will be familiar with, but we're going to look at a particular strategy to help us. If we have a question like double 42, that's the same as saying 2 times 42 or 42 add 42. What we're doing effectively is taking this and doubling it so that we have twice as many. That's all we're doing. And that's great if we have deans or counters or things like that to help us. But what if we don't? What if we need to do it in our heads? Let's have a look. What I would do is I would partition my 42 into 2 pieces. That makes it a lot easier to deal with. So I'm going to take my 40 on one side and my 2 ones, and I'm going to separate them out. So I've now got 40 and 2. So I've still got 42, but in 2 separate pieces. I'm just going to double each piece. I'm going to start with 40 first. So I come down here to our 40. And through the red arrow, I'm going to double it. So if I have 40 to start with, and I double it, and I end up with twice as many, what have I got now? Let's have a look. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I've now got 80 in there. And then we come down the other side. So the other side, we had 2. We just had 2 ones. And if I double that, I know you know the answer to this, but let's have a look. If I double that, look, now I've got 4. So that's what my answer is down here. Now we have 2 answers. I now need to put them back together. So I've got 80, I've got 4. Luckily, that's really easy to do in our heads. That's just 84. So that's our answer. What about this one? We've got 78. So we've got 7 10s on one side and we've got 8 1s on the other. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to partition the 78. So I've split it here into 70 and 8. Pause the video and see if you can work out what numbers are going to be underneath these red rectangles. So the first thing we needed to do was take our 70 and double it. But luckily, we learnt something the other day that can help us with that. Because double 70 is basically 2 times 70. And we looked at multiplying multiples of 10 the other day. Have a look at this. We need to do 70 times 2, or 2 times 70. But if we know 7 times 2 is 14, then we can easily work out 70 times 2 because it's 14 but multiplied by 10, so it's got that 0 in the ones place. Let's have a look. There we go, we've got 140 on this side. How about the other side? We had 8, so we need to double 8, which makes 16. So now we have 140 and 16, which aren't quite so easy to compact back together. However, we know column addition, so if you need to, you can add your two numbers that way. Ta-da! Just like that. Use this strategy by partitioning the numbers first and doubling each bit to try and solve these three problems. Pause the video while you have a go. Now you might have noticed that one of these problems is a little bit more difficult than the others. This sneaky one down here has got 3 digits in it. So we'll come to that one in just a minute. Let's have a look at the other two first. With each of these, I've done the same thing. I've partitioned them in my head. So double 37, I know I've got 30 and I've got 7. So I've doubled 30, which was 60, and I've doubled 7, which is 14. And then I've used column addition at the bottom just to add them together. You can do it in your head though if you want to. On this side, I've doubled 60 and made it 120. And I've doubled 9 and made 18. And then used column addition again to make 138. So what about that tricky one? Double 642. Now I'm going to show you a function machine that basically does exactly what we've just been doing. We start off with 642 at the top. And we partition it into its 3 pieces now. So because it's a 3-digit number, it has 3 pieces that we can partition it into. We've got our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. So we've got 600, 40, and 2. And then what we need to do with each piece, because we're doubling the whole number, is we need to double each piece. So this is our function machine. Each piece of the puzzle is going to be multiplied by 2, and we get the answers out the bottom, and then we can put them all back together again. If I bring this down, we can see the answers for each section. Double 600 makes 1,200, double 40 makes 80, and double 2 is 4. And then all we need to do is put them back together. So I've done a column addition here with all 3 numbers, just so I can check the answer I came to in my head. And then our final answer comes back together again at the bottom. So we start off with one number. We split it, we partition it into pieces, we double all of those pieces, and then we put them back together again at the end. This is what the function machine looks like on its own. And when you come to do your My Maths challenge tomorrow, this will be on the screen to help you. We'll use the function machine to try this one together as well. Double 795. So we partition our number into our hundreds, tens, and ones. And then remember, the function machine is just giving us these calculations to do. Remember, 2 times 700, from what we learnt the other day, you can just do 2 times 7 and then times it by 100. So putting those 2 zeros in the tens and the ones. 2 times 90, same thing. You can do 2 times 9 and then multiply it by 10 to put the 0 on the end. And you've got 2 times 5. Pause the video while you work out what those are, and then we'll look at them together. Right, let's see the answers. We have 1,400, 180, and 10. So how can we put all those back together again to create our answer? Well, easy. We can do some column addition if we need to make the answer 1,590. And that's what we've put at the bottom. Feel free to pause the video for a while if you feel like you need a bit more practice before you move on. I've got an important warning for you now though. This is a mistake that lots of people make. What is double 0? Have a think about it. See if I can show you logically. So, doubling 0. Lots of people double 0 and make it 1. And I'm not quite sure why. So, if you look in the picture, have a look here, we've got a nice plate. How many biscuits do I have on that plate? I have no biscuits. I have 0 biscuits. I have nothing. I have no biscuits. So if I double that, if I recreate this, if I copy it, and I've now doubled it, how many biscuits have I got now? I still have no biscuits. So even though I've doubled it, if I've got nothing to start with, I can double it, but I still have nothing. So double 0 is always 0. Remember that. Let's try one with a 0 just to test ourselves. So here we have 2 times 507, or double 507. Pause the video to work this one out. You can even draw your own function machine if you want to. Okay, how did you partition it? Let's see. So we have 500s, we have no 10s, so we've got a 0 in there, and we've got 7 1s. So let's double each part. What did you make it? So double 500 has become 1000. Double 0, of course, we know, still no biscuits, is 0. And 7 doubled is 14. And then we can put those back together. We can do some column addition if we want to. We don't really need that 0 in the middle. We could take it out because adding 0, again, doesn't add anything. And we've put our answer at the bottom. So double 507 becomes 1014. Now, are you ready for something that looks a little bit trickier? What if I had £4.93 and I wanted to double it? How would I do that? Pause the video, have a think, and see what you can come up with. What we need to do is to partition it like we did with the other numbers. But how can we partition £4.93? Surely that's really difficult. Not if you think of how £4.93 is made up. So £4.93 is made up of £4, so £4 coins, 90p, which could be represented by 9 10p coins, and 3p on the end. So we've got £4, 90p, and 3p. So we partition it that way. So what do you think will be written in each of these boxes? Let's have a look. Here we have £4. I've taken off the pound sign just because I want to concentrate on the numbers rather than symbols. So I've taken the pound sign off, but we can put it back again afterwards. In this one, we're looking at the 9, which represents 90p. But we need to remember that we still need to put it as pounds, but we've put all our pounds over here. So what we've got is no pounds and 90 pence. So that's our 9 from there. Over here, we've got our 3 pence. But again, we've got no pounds in this section. We've got no 10p's in this section. We've just got 3p. So if you look at these 3 numbers, you'll see our £4, our 90p, and our 3p. So let's start doubling. Pause the video to work out the answer before I do. What did you make it? I've made it £8, £1.80, and 6p. I've then added them together and I've made a total of £9.86. So let's reveal the answer at the bottom here. And remember, as I said, we took off our pound sign at the beginning, so we can always put our pound sign back to show our answer. So £4.93 doubled is £9.86. Again, pause the video here if you feel like you need a little bit more practice. Think of some money amounts and then try doubling them. Your challenges today are all on this page, And the picture of this page is on Google Classroom as well for you. If you choose challenge 1 today, we're focusing on the slightly simpler numbers that we were doing towards the beginning of the video. And they may be written differently, but all of these questions just mean double or times by 2. Challenge 2 is just a little bit trickier and includes at the bottom a couple of money amounts. Have a try and challenge yourself and see how well you do with those. If you're really confident with this, there is a super challenge today, but you need to complete challenge 2 first. The super challenge today is a mental maths challenge, so you're not allowed to write anything down. You must do everything just in your head. So for the super challenge, I want you to start from the number 1 and I want you to double it. Really easy. And then I want you to double that and then double that and then keep doubling and keep doubling and keep doubling just in your head and see how high you can get before you get lost. I can get into 5-digit numbers and then my brain just can't cope anymore. See how high you can get. Work hard at today's challenges and I'll see you tomorrow where we'll be doing the opposite of what we've just done. See you then.